Here is the kickstand dumbbell loaded RDL. There's gonna be a few different variations I'm gonna show you guys and run Eileen through on this so you can find what fits best for you based on how it feels. So the basic version of this exercise is to take a dumbbell in each hand, and much like an RDL, we're gonna be doing a hip hinging motion. I want you to stagger your feet so that that front foot heel is in line with like the ball of your foot or the toe of that back foot, okay? So not too crazy of a stagger, we're not doing a split squat here. Now you're gonna hinge just like an RDL, controlling the depth, and instead of sitting into the front foot like most people have you do on a kickstand RDL, I want you actually sitting back into this back hip. So you're translating your hips back and into that back foot. Okay, it's gonna help get that hip into it. You're gonna feel a good glute, good hamstring stretch. By doing so, we're also gonna get some nice mobility benefits out of this. So you're sitting back into that back hip on that back foot. Now there's a few variations of this exercise here. It's gonna depend on a few different factors. The first one is to elevate that back foot or that back heel on a wedge or an inclined surface, like even a plate. And you're gonna hinge back just like normal. 10 running to a couple reps. The other variation is to throw this wedge under the toe. So now we're elevating the toe. And the real difference between these three different variations, I want you to find the one that fits best for you, is what it's gonna do for orientation, the pelvis wise, foot pressure wise. So some people here, they either have a better time finding their heel if that's a problem, or they have a better time finding the ball of the foot if that's a problem. It can be vice versa. If the heel is elevated, whatever feels best for you and feels most natural for you is probably what your body needs. The final benefit here is what it does for, like I said, the pelvis and the low back area. If you're someone who has a flatter low back, you're gonna wanna elevate that toe. That's gonna help you find that little bit better arch and stacking of the rib cage. If you're someone who has a really extended low back, you're gonna probably want or prefer maybe more of that heel elevated portion. It's gonna help flatten out slightly. If you have adequate mobility and you have good spinal stacking, you're gonna probably be fine with just the flat surface elevation. Okay, a couple loading options here, other than with like obviously bars and whatnot, is gonna be just how you offset load this. So an offset loaded variation of this would be holding that dumbbell in the offhand. You can either have it on the outside of your body or even crossing the knee. And if you notice that turned Eileen into this hip here just a little bit, makes it easier for her to access that range. There's another variation which you would hold it now on the ipsilateral side as this working leg here. And so now she's gonna be just, once again, turning the pelvis a little bit differently. So you just gotta, this is something, you know, you have your coach program in there for you, but ultimately it's gonna come down to basically finding the stance and the heel elevation that feels best, and then how you load it will help accentuate those turns.